In this brief video tutorial, I'm going to introduce you to two data management apps for teachers and schools for collecting and managing student data. The first one I'm going to discuss is Google Forms, which is part of Google Suites. Instead of talking about Google Form, Google Sheets, and Google Docs in this video, I'm going to focus on Google Forms. So Google Forms is a web-based tool that can be accessed from any computer anywhere with a Google account, which is free. It allows a teacher or school to create survey type questions and then to collect that data in a Google Sheet. So it could be as simple as in a teacher, and this was an example I used, to assess students' understanding of a video homework assignment. They had put in their first name, last name, email, and then there's questions about the video. And there's different types of questions you can embed in a Google form, and you can input pictures and charts. From here, you can click on responses. And what's really nice about Google Forms is that it gives you a picture, a chart of how many students got each question correct. So here I can see that I had 21 students respond. If I had a class of 22 students, then I would need to look and see which students responded and which didn't. It gives me, so I can see that most students got this one correct. Here I see that 100 students got this question correct. Here there's a little bit of a discrepancy, so I might want to go back and look at where the confusion was regarding that question. So that's one way of using Google Form, but you can also export it to a Google Sheet. And here what's really nice about the Google Sheet, sorry, I'm trying to hide the student names, is it allows you as the teacher to see the timestamp, this question. But the other thing is, I'm not going to scroll all the way over. You can get these add-ons such as Flubaroo that allows you to actually, that will grade the test for you and break down the results. So if I go to grades, I can see here which questions they got right. I can see the percent the student got right and import that into my grade book. In doing research for this assignment, one functionality of Google Forms that I found really interesting was using it for discipline. So instead of writing paper referrals, which get lost in the office, teachers can a school can create a discipline form. So when a student gets a write-up or needs to be sent to the office, they can fill out the Google form. And from there, they can say what kind of problem it was, if it was a major problem, check mark. This isn't the live form right now, this is the editing form. From here, what's really interesting is when I export my data, I can break it down by what types of discipline issues are happening. I could break it down by teacher, by gender, by grade, and say, oh, why is it that the 6th grade boys keep having issues at lunch, and explore that data in making decisions about staffing and activities offered at lunch. The next app I'm going to briefly talk about is Naiku. So Naiku is a brand new app I just learned about for data management. So this is my temporary 30-day free trial. So I don't actually have a class set up. This is my sample class. So Naiku allows students to log in through a web-based app, and same with teachers. So again, it can be accessed anywhere. Just like me here, when I log in as a teacher, I could see all my classes. So for me, I would see Algebra 1, 7th grade science, entrepreneurship, and I could click on those classes, and I could create a curriculum map that's aligned to either Common Core standards, California state standards, national standards, and I would enroll my students. Students would see the same dashboard when they log in. So they would see all of their classes. They could click on a class such as Algebra 1. They can, from there, click on any assessments that they've taken and see feedback from me, their teacher. And they could also go in and see any pending assessments that they need to take. So from the teacher's perspective, I can create assessments with a variety of question types. So if we go into the sample assessment here, you can see this is obviously not Algebra 1, it's more of a geography, but It tells me which standard it corresponds to, allows you to insert pictures, true, false. Here's a math question. But what's really nice is that for the student's perspective, when they answer the question, they can also, it will give them a prompt to rate their confidence on their answer, and then also a space to justify their answer. And so as a teacher, it gives me a little bit more feedback to their understanding versus just if they got the question correct or not. Now, what the really neat thing is this is aligned to standards, and it allows me to look at class results. And so it shows me on this assessment, again, this is a sample, this is based on 2 students, it shows me the class average, the lowest score, the highest score, how many students were proficient, approaching proficient, and not proficient. So I can view by individual student and by class. I can then take this data and share either the assessment and or the results with my colleagues. And from there, here it shows you which standards students are proficient at, which ones I may need to reteach, but it allows me to collaborate with my PLC team or my department level team to look at the standards and where students are struggling in terms of learning what we would like them to learn. So that was a real brief introduction to Google Forms and Naiku.